Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw joining us. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us from the Capitol on this. Obviously, this is a very serious matter, something that drove millions and millions of Americans to the ballot box to secure the borders, to fight against the cartels. What immediate actions will your task force be taking to dismantle these cartels?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's time to execute. We've actually had more of an informal task force for about 2 years. So we did around 30 hearings from experts inside, outside of government, former cartel members. I traveled to 9 different places across the country, to different task forces run by the FBI, DEA, you name it. I've been to Mexico 3 times. We know what the strategy is to do now. It's time to execute it. And we've got a lot of places now that are a lot of things in place now that are really perfect for this. We've got a new administration in Mexico, which is far more willing to work with us than the last administration was. We've got a new administration here in the U.S. with President Trump, who wants to make this a priority. And we've now got a task force in Congress that actually wants to help fund and authorize what the administration needs to make it happen. So you really need to look at this like, the way the work we did in Colombia, the work we do in a lot of places. And what you have to understand is that we're fighting a terrorist insurgency. And insurgency is well integrated into the society. And so you need a whole of government approach to actually fight it. It's not just a military target, it's also, it's an intelligence target. We were very successful in the last year expanding FISA to actually go after cartels. You might be surprised to know that we were actually not even able to spy on cartel affiliates or the people making precursors in China before. Now we can because of my legislation that we passed just a year ago. So there's a lot of really good things happening. Now what we need is funding. We've tried to get what we can into reconciliation, but that ship is moving very fast. So we're hoping for what I call a North America First Security Assistance Initiative, which will be a package that funds multiple agencies, whether it's the DEA, the FBI, the CIA, the DOD, to help bolster Mexican security forces and actually engage in a counterinsurgency operation against this terrorist insurgency.
Wow. Very interesting. We know obviously the dangers of cartels, right? Not only the violence that these individuals could bring into the country, but also the trafficking of drugs, which impact so many American families, unfortunately. You mentioned funding. Would that be used to target advanced technology that we're seeing from some of these cartel members operate?
You broke up a little bit. You asked about advanced technology they're using?
Sure, yeah, and drones perhaps.
Yes, I mean, look, right. I mean, look, they have unlimited funding. They are using drones. They are trying to build IEDs. We haven't seen a huge amount of sophistication yet. They still use pretty unsophisticated communications. Look, we can target these people. We can beat them. Right now, it's just about resources and will. And for the first time ever, you've got partners in Mexico who are actually asking us to help them with resources. So it's up to Congress to provide resources to this administration so the administration can then provide those resources to Mexico. Now, look, for example, before, NORTHCOM is the command that's in charge of North America. That includes Mexico. A year ago, because of the last Mexican administration and Biden, not really telling them to do anything, well, they weren't really doing anything. Now, with President Trump labeling them as labeling the cartels as FTOs and saying, hey, we're going to make this a priority, and a Mexican administration that is far more willing to take in that help, you've got NORTHCOM doing some real planning now on what could be possible alongside our Mexican Special Forces counterparts. So there's just a lot of good things happening. It's up to Congress to take it seriously. We need to stop learning about it. It's time we already have a strategy. I've been building the strategy for about 2 years. It's time to execute.
Keeping Americans safe and fighting these cartels. That is Congressman Dan Crenshaw joining us again with the details on that task force. Congressman, always good to see you. Thank you for taking the time for our viewers.
Thanks for having me.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.